So as we said in the first video, the court is operating out of a perspective that we have to exclude the possibility of God and the implications of God in any kind of religious view, and we're going to operate in the courtroom as atheists. Well, the best place for a Christian to begin to look to understand the implications of that worldview is actually in Romans chapter 1, where Paul talks about the man who denies the existence of God. And here's what he says about them. In verse 18, "For the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men, who by their unrighteousness suppress the truth. For what can be known about God is plain to them." And this actually surfaced at the very beginning of the oral arguments when Justice Kennedy made these very telling observations. He says, one of the problems when you think about these cases, you think about words or cases, and the word that keeps coming back to me in this case is millennia. He goes on and in the same discussion and says, this definition has been with us for millennia. And it's very difficult for the court to say, oh, well, we know better. When it was then pointed out that, and the question was asked to the attorneys in support of same-sex marriage, so are you saying that we can or cannot essentially infer that for all this period of time, these people have been reasonable and rational in limiting marriage to man and a woman? Or have they been unreasonable and unrational? The attorneys basically said, well, we really don't know, and we don't know what the philosophers think and about these cultures. And Justice Kennedy again injects. He says, from an anthropological standpoint, Justice Scalia was very careful to talk about societies. Justice Alito talked about cultures. They didn't have government like this. They made it themselves, and it was a man and a woman. You see, he's saying that essentially, before government, there was this thing called marriage that cultures and societies recognized, even before law. And what are we supposed to do with the fact that this has been going on for thousands of years, cuts across all time, all nations, across the globe, and even in cultures that embraced homosexuality? How do we account for this, he says? You see, what Justice Kennedy is doing is struggling with the truth that he can't not know, but that he's being asked by the plaintiffs to suppress. And when we suppress the truth, certain things begin to happen. And we'll talk about those in the next video.